in the house. Virtual art camp. Do not attempt to adjust your computer screens because we are in there. Hey folks, my name is Steve Prince and I'm the Director of Engagement at the Muscarelle Museum at William & Mary. Hey, we have a wonderful show lined up for you today. Today we're going to continue our exploration in making words appear to pop out in space. I showed you one way in which I had the letters really big from the sides and getting small in the middle and showing how they can project and utilize a little system of perspective. And we're going to take it another step further. We're going to work with 2-point perspective and having your word pop out into space. Okay? So let's get our materials together. So what you're gonna need, you're gonna need a pencil. Number 2 or softer. You're gonna need paper of any size, and you're going to need an eraser. Okay, remember, the eraser is not for worrying about mistakes and messing up. The eraser is for refinement and helping you get to the final realization of your image. The eraser is a tool for art making. Keep that in mind. So let's get the stuff out. Let's get it ready to rock and roll. All right, I'm gonna get my paper together. Oh, I'm feeling good today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rebob. All right, if we go back to our idea of perspective, there's one word that I want you to remember and always keep in mind is that imaginary line that exists out in the space, and it is called, very good. You are absolutely right. It is called the horizon line. The horizon line is that imaginary line. If we look straight out into space, it is the line that's parallel to the ground that's down below you. Don't look down, don't look up, look straight out. So if you're sitting down looking straight out, that's your horizon line. If you're standing up and looking straight out, that is your horizon line. Okay? Remember, keep that in mind. Don't forget that key ingredient in terms of making this drawing look really good. So the first thing we're going to do is going to get our horizon line on here. I'm going to put it about midway on the paper. Okay, so remember, lock the wrists and keep it nice and steady. Nice and steady, nice and steady right across your page. There you go. And you may need to do it multiple times so that you can actually get it worked out on there. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It's just as long as you get that line that kind of denotes that idea of the horizon line, that imaginary line for your composition. And you're going to do fine. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to establish the height of my letters. Okay, so I'm going to come on to my left side. And I'm going to pull a nice vertical line. Again, locking my wrist. Pulling it nice and vertical, just like that. And then I'm going to find a point that's over here. And I'm going to take from perhaps right there. And I'm going to pull up to the horizon line. Above the horizon line, up above it. And I'm going to pull down from the horizon line. Down to the bottom of that piece. Okay? Now this should look somewhat familiar to y'all when we were doing building structures going down the street. And we had a little road coming down here and everything for one of our workshops. And it was really cool. So remember that line up top, just like that. And then you have that line at the bottom. All right? So we're going to put another point right back behind it. Okay? Right over here. And we're going to take and we're going to pull down to that. And with that which is below the horizon line, you pull up to the horizon line. Okay? So already, y'all should feel this stuff already projecting. All right? So I'm going to make the word, I think the perfect word for the day is peace. And so I'm going to first work out the letters. I'm going to work out the spacing where I want each one of the letters to fall. So this is going to be my P. And I'm going to gap it. I'm going to give it a little bit of space in between. And then the next letter is going to be my E. Remember, gap it. Give it a little space in between. This can be my A. A little gap between. This is going to be my C. And what's the last letter of peace? Oh, very good spelling. Look at y'all. Y'all just so wonderful. I love it when y'all just know how to do all this stuff. And it just makes this drawing, it makes this whole process so wonderful and so beautiful. So fantarific. I know I made up a word, but hey, that's life. It's being creative. All right, so here we go. So the first thing we do, we got P-E-A-C-E. Remember, make a little gap in between each one of your letters so that you have proper spacing so they'll show up really nicely for you. Now we want to start to make that first letter. So one thing you want to do is make sure that you regulate your thickness. All right, so this is going to be the first part of the P. That's gonna be the thickness of the letter. See how it's working? Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'll pull you a little bit closer so that you can make sure you see all these little details in what I'm doing. That's so important. All right, next part of the letter is going to be the round portion of the front of the piece. I'm going to round it down below, and when I get up, I'm going to go straight along here, but then I'm going to round it around its top. So round it and round it down below, down into there. So I got the P. Now you need the other part of the P. You want to make sure that you regulate this thickness inside of that letter. All right, so think of a thickness down below. So you want to pull it around and drop it down and then curve it back in again. So roll it around just like that. So you got your P. Okay? We'll come back and we'll tighten these letters up and we'll make them a little stronger all the way around them. So we can get to the next letter. So the E. So again, you want to get the back part of the letter. That's the back part of the E. And then notice I just drew straight on through. I'm not trying to worry about anything that's running over any other lines. I'm worrying about trying to make sure my letters are consistent. So when you make this other part of the E right here, remember the top part is going down. So you want to make sure that top part goes down with it. And we get to the middle part of the E, we can flatten it out some more, and we can flatten it out some more. But when we get down to the bottom part of E, you want to go up again along that's parallel to that line. All right, so you want to go up, slightly down, and down. All right, so we got our letter, we got our P, E. Now we need our A. And so I'm going to create a diagonal, one diagonal, and a second diagonal. Now notice I gave the A a little bit of space at the top. So it has a little bit of a flat top up there. All right, then I'm gonna pull from that corner right here. I'm gonna pull down. I'm gonna pull from this corner and pull down. And you see how it quickly establishes that internal space inside of that A? So now I'm gonna pull across, going up and going up. And I lined it kind of with that line too at the bottom right there. And then now you have your A. And again, we'll come back and we'll tighten it up. And I'm gonna use a bigger marker to make some nice big bold marks to define our letters. Now we need the C. The C is really interesting. So we're gonna round it all the way around. So round it, flatten it on that back side, round around the bottom, come back up, just like that, round it all the way around. And then you wanna go down and then up, just like that. And then you wanna roll around, make sure that you regulate that thickness, paying close attention how thick the letter is all the way around. Okay, pay attention to that. That's very key to make your letters look really good. So I'm looking at that thickness, how consistent the thickness is all around. Pay attention to that. That's very important. And the last side of the E, we're repeating that E again. And so we're gonna pull it down, just like so. And you wanna have that one kind of go down. You wanna have this one kind of towards the middle, and you want that last one going up. All right, and then there we have our letter E, and we have our word peace. So now I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna start to bold off these letters, okay? So I'm gonna make it nice and thick. All right, I'm gonna roll around this letter, go all the way up, lock that wrist, keep it nice and steady. Hold your breath. Hold your breath as you do this mark, and it'll keep it from wavering so much. And pull it around, pull it up, and around. Oh, look how nice and smooth that is. And then pull it all the way around, just like that, and pull it up. So we got our P. Okay, you see it? Okay, so pull on up, lock that wrist, full arm action, pull it up. Here's the internal part of our E. So I'm just keeping consistent with all of our verticals. And I'll come back and I'll do our horizontals. Okay, well, actually this is a diagonal. A diagonal, and another little diagonal, and another diagonal, and another diagonal, and then that last diagonal right there. So we got P-E, okay. So pull on up, let's keep it flowing. So all the way around your letter. Pull it up, pull it around. So now we're making everything stand out, nice and strong. And pull up, pull around, Let me thicken that side up a little bit more. Good. And then on inside the letter. All right, you see it? Okay, now we're going inside this next letter, and I'm going to pull those pieces around and then pull all the way around. Keep it consistent. This time I'm using a lot of hand action to pull it around to follow these curves. We got the C. Now we need that last letter, the E. So pull up, pull across, across, down, across, and down, and across, and down, and across, and down, and across. Okay, see how the word is popping like it's going right back into space. But we got one more part to do for these letters, and I'm going to finish it off. You see, remember that second point that was pulling back? Now we got to begin to define the thickness of the letters and how they're pushing out into space. Okay, so you can make them go as far back as you want. So I'm going to pull mine back about this far. So I'm going to create a vertical line right here. Boom. And then I'm going to lock that line in. And I'm going to lock this line in. And rock it all the way around. So see, I got that P, how it's popping. Now, inside of it, that would go all the way back, and so we don't have anything to reveal itself inside of there. Unless the letters are much shorter, we'll create another little curve inside there, but that thing will be really deep. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, we wanna make sure we keep consistent with that diagonal that's going down towards the horizon line. So you wanna make that diagonal go down, and you want this one to go up, as if it's going straight up to that horizon line. So you want to imagine it to keep going. So that's it going up. And then we come to this letter, and we look on the inside, and that one goes down to the horizon line, and this one comes up to the horizon line. That one won't have any alphabet because it'll be going down to the horizon line, up to the horizon line, that's going through the letter, so you can't see that. So then you want to go from the top, and you want to go down to the horizon line, and you want to go up to the horizon line. Okay, I went a little too far, I mean, blacken that off a little bit, and then I want to pull up to the horizon line. So you see how the A is popping, okay? And then we want to go from the top right here, go down to the horizon line, and you want to go up to the horizon line. And you want to go down to the horizon line, and you want to go up to the horizon line, just right off of there. And then the last letter, going down and up, and then down and then up. And there you have it, folks. You have the words popping out piece. Now you can go back and just add some little marks back here to make it stand out some more and create a little bit of shadow back behind the letters. And this will just help them just give it a little bit more visual pop going right back behind it. So I'm gonna pull some vertical lines here, just right there. I'm gonna pull a few lines going across that plane there and a few lines coming across this plane. And then we'll pull a few lines going down the side, a few lines in here, a few lines inside there underneath, a few lines coming up. And I'm gonna curve these lines around. I'm gonna curve those up, curve that down. And put a few more vertical lines here, back behind. And you have the letters, piece, just popping out. All right, you can always go back and accentuate more, and y'all can play around with different shadows and different things. Just really just have a good time with it. But you see how clearly it is now. And I use one point coming from that side, the pop and project the letters, and then another point going back behind it to make those letters appear to be jumping out and emerging from the page. Okay, I'm seeing I need a little bit of tone inside of here. Remember, I'm gonna curve it around the inside of it towards the shape of the letter. Just rounding it inside of there, and that just makes it pop a little bit more. All right, so have fun making letters, make words, make your name, do all kind of different things. But I think that's an important thing for us to have in our life, a little bit more. We need more peace. All right, and so I remember, folks, and do not forget, art is all around you. Muscarelle in the house. Virtual Art Camp.